Hello and welcome to Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast with your host, Buddy Sotelo Esquire and effervescent Evan Ginsberg. But we have a returning guest today, and really privileged to have him on the show. He's got a lot of very important stuff to update us on, and I'll let Evan, since he's a good friend of Evan Ginsberg, I'll let you reintroduce him to our fans in the show. If you haven't been with us for 5 years, you might have missed him. He was on show number 29 over 250 shows ago. Evan, go ahead and introduce our guest.
All right. He is noted filmmaker, director, producer, editor, etc. So on, Mark Nowotarski. And behind him, you have the posters for The Sheik and Battles, Bouts, and Brawls, the story of pro wrestling in Detroit. And I was honored to be in the Detroit documentary because many of the Detroit wrestlers came to New York, headlined Madison Square Garden. And Mark is living history, and he puts his money where his mouth is, investing in these great films. And anybody involved in wrestling or film in these two communities should respect somebody, a true independent filmmaker. It is not easy to get a project off the ground, let alone get it on PBS. Mark got one of his films on PBS, seen by many, many, many people. We are honored to have once again Mark Nowotarski. So Mark, why don't we start with the two films behind you? Tell us a little about those projects.
Well, the first program that I did with regard to pro wrestling was on, I believe, to be pro wrestling's greatest villain, The Sheik, who, as you, I'm sure, are both aware, comes from Michigan, born and bred in Michigan. He was the owner of Big Time Wrestling, filling Cobo Arena numerous times throughout the years, ranging from the 1960s going into the 1970s, when he owned the promotion. Regretfully, the promotion had to exist. I believe it was 1980, but bear with me currently. My exact time frames may be a little off synchronization, only because my frame of mind, is not exactly at my best now. The Sheik, Wrestling's Greatest Villain, is a 2 DVD disc set, ranging the Sheik's career, and I will emphasize, this is the character of the Sheik. This is not the man. So if somebody wants to know about the man that was the Sheik, no, this is about the character. I've respected his privacy, and I felt that if the Sheik wanted to do something, which is, I'm sure both of you are aware, at one time it was believed that the Sheik was doing his own autobiography. That was his right, and I do not believe that was my right. So this is about the Sheik. Among the extras that are on this 2 DVD disc set is the Sheik's final bout in the United States, which took place in Lincoln Park, Michigan. I believe that was in 1994. He was scheduled to go up against Abdullah the Butcher. For whatever reason, the Butcher did not show up. So the Sheik took on the promoter of that, Midwest Championship Wrestling, was a wrestler promoter by the name of Malcolm Monroe. He was known as Sweet Daddy Malcolm Monroe. But for this particular bout, he called himself the Boogeyman. And in that final bout, the Sheik was accompanied to the ring by Sabu.
Wow.
And other bouts on the Sheik DVD, 2 DVD disc set. Now, PBS had approached me on airing the Sheik program. However, this was at a time, this was in approximately 2010. So the subject of gentlemen of the Mideast were not exactly viewed upon in the best light. With at that time, I'm sure everybody knows Osama bin Laden just being one individual, so it was not viewed that it would be well received, just because of the climate, if you will, with the Sheik having that persona. Now, it was mentioned, well, Mark, if you would do something with regard to kind of a generalization of the promotions that were done in Detroit, well, we would be interested in that. And little did the folks at PBS know that I was already in the planning stages of doing that program as a follow-up, which wound up being Battles, Bouts, and Brawls, and the story of pro wrestling in Detroit. And there are over 30 participants that I had gone. Nevin, you have been one of them. Individuals from the West Coast, being a former wrestler. He wrestled under the name, I believe it was Fred Valentine, but he is actually movie producer, director, writer, Fred Olin Ray.
Wow.
He took on, among others, Abdullah the Butcher in combat. Fred Olin Ray as Fred Valentine also took on, or as a tag team partner, among others, Terry Funk. And Fred Olin Ray has several Facebook pages. Among them, I believe one is the unofficial Fred Olin Ray page. If, ladies and gentlemen, you'd like to look that up, I would encourage you. But that program, yes, indeed, did air on PBS, and it was seen throughout the entire continent of North America.
And for those who don't know Fred Olin Ray, he did a ton of films with smoking hot women with guns. You know, am I exaggerating?
Hollywood Chainsaw Massacre was one of his claims to fame.
Yeah, yeah. That stuff is so entertaining, and he's brutally honest about the good, bad, and ugly of indie filmmaking, the pitfalls. I follow a lot of his content, so check out Fred Olin Ray. And he's been around a long time, and he knows from whence he speaks. And the indie film community, you know, we need to support each other. Mark's photo just went completely black. Hopefully, fade to black.
Still with us, yes.
I'm sorry. Technical difficulties beyond my control.
So Battles, Bouts, and Brawls actually aired on PBS. How many folk would you estimate saw that?
Oh, thousands. I would say over a minimum of 10,000 throughout the country, the United States, undetermined, and I'm sorry, I don't remember. I apologize. Throughout Canada, going down to Puerto Rico.
There you go.
And
That's amazing.
Greenland, the Rhino had informed me that the program even aired in Greenland.
Okay,
you're like a god in Greenland. They speak of you in hushed whispers. Yeah.
Thank you.
And can you tell us why the Sheik, you know, for the younger fans out there that never got to see the Sheik wrestle, and there's not a ton of video on him, so it's great that you compiled a lot of stuff about the Sheik, because a lot of younger fans have not seen the Sheik ever, and they think of, you know, when they say Sheik, they think of the Iron Sheik pretty much.
You got the two confused, yeah.
Yeah. So what would you tell fans was so important about what the Sheik was all about when he got into the ring?
Well, the Sheik billed himself with, among other taglines, the wild man from Syria, and wild, emphasis on the word wild. There were no rules. There were foreign objects. When the Sheik felt he was in trouble in any given bout, he would summon supernatural powers, and from an open hand actually produce fire. And he would throw the fire at his opponent, burning him to various degrees. Naturally, as luck would have it, the referee very seldom saw it,
Yeah.
giving the Sheik his victory. The ultimate rule breaker, among one of the first wrestlers, others said in the same breath, has been Wild Bull Curry, which both of you are well aware of, using the term hardcore as being one of the originators. There were no rules. The Sheik was absolutely wild. Foreign objects, any and all, the bell, the ring bell, foreign objects, again, many, tape, chains, chairs, tables, you name it. I mean, if you can see anything with, as you have mentioned, that is available on YouTube, it just gives you an idea. I mean, back in the 1950s, there was a certain amount of time when the Sheik did actually use wrestling holds per se, being an arm bar or a reverse arm bar, chin lock, things like this. Naturally, the camel clutch. But the ultimate in rule breaking, the worst of the worst, making him wrestling's greatest villain. Now, in mentioning the fact that there is a limited amount of material on the Sheik, as I mentioned earlier, on the 2 DVD disc set, the Sheik's final United States bout against Malcolm Monroe, Sweet Daddy Malcolm Monroe, accompanied by Sabu, is in this one of the extras. Also, bouts with Ariba Luis Martinez, and I believe there's even Bobo Brazil in all part of these things that I don't believe you'll see these anywhere else. And if you are seeing these bouts anywhere else, you shouldn't be, because somebody has bootlegged them.
And let me just share my own experiences with the Sheik. He came to Joe Goodhart's Philly promotion in the early 90s, and I came as press, and I'm sitting in the dressing room. The Sheik enters, and everybody went silent. That was the aura this guy had. It was like everybody marked out. The Sheik just entered the dressing room, and he wrestled Abdullah the Butcher in this wild, bloody brawl that was just great. And he also wrestled Kevin Sullivan for Joe Goodhart, and that was a crazy brawl. And another experience with the Sheik that was interesting, John Arezzi did early wrestling conventions, and he also had me down as, you know, I was on the panel and as media, and the Sheik was signing autographs, but kept his character and kayfabe because he wouldn't talk while he was signing it. So I actually have a Sheik autograph on a plaque that I got from that convention. It's one of my most prized pieces of memorabilia, because that's not a common autograph, you know, the original.
Oh, no, it is not.
And yeah, it was so great to see him. And he was no kid in the early 90s, but still a great brawler. And it was interesting because this was a quote unquote, and I don't mean it in a derogatory manner, a smart mark audience. These were smart fans. And when the Sheik entered the arena, even the fans were like marking out, because this guy, he came out with his persona and he looked dangerous. You know, the fans were like, oh my God, like really like backing off when they were brawling, you know, towards the crowd. It was really great to see him, even though it wasn't his Cobo Arena prime. Like I said, I think it was 1992, if memory serves, or 1991, something like that. But yeah, so the Sheik was special. And as a quote unquote historian, whenever I talk to journalists and historians, when they talk about the greatest villains of all time, the names that always come up, the Sheik, Buddy Rogers, Holly Race, and for those who really know, Killer Kowalski, who was on top for like 30 plus years. But the Sheik's name is always in that Mount Rushmore of great heels. It's all subjective, of course, but you know, anybody that knows or actually experienced the Sheik live, that guy has to be on the Mount Rushmore of great heels. And Mark, tell us which other legendary wrestlers are in Battle Bouts and Brawls.
Well, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, there are over 30 participants.
Name all 30. No, I'm kidding. Name the top ones.
They're your pal Ox Baker.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Ox Baker is in there.
Also in 350 Days.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Best part of the movie.
Detroiter is in there. The son of Malcolm Monroe, DBA, he's known as DBA, Malcolm Monroe Jr. He is in this. Rob Van Dam.
Wow.
Is in it. Sabu.
I used to go down to ECW Arena. Sabu and Rob Van Dam were great. Yeah.
Irish Mickey Doyle.
I love Mickey.
I know he has been your guest on a number of occasions there.
Yeah, he's been a guest on the show here, yes.
I grew up with Mickey watching the Olympic Auditorium tapings. So underrated, so great, yeah.
And a wonderful man. Rhino has been in there. Manager, trainer, Truth Martini, who was with me. Yes.
Many times with ROH.
Yes, Ring of Honor, correct. Well, and also there were some in this program of Battle Spouts and Brawls, there are some rare radio promos from Wild Bull Curry, regretfully deceased, and also Eighth Wonder of the World, Pompero Firpo.
Yeah, he was great too.
We've had his daughter on the show.
Well, matter of fact, Mary was on the last show that I was with Mark, honoring Mark Boujan. So yeah, Mary is a wonderful person, and her brother John, also he is a participant in the Facebook pages of former Mark Boujan pages, History of Detroit, Toronto, and Ohio, and 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s memories, wrestling memories.
So let me segue, since you brought up a late great friend in Mark Boujan, one of the true selfless people in the wrestling community. It was never about money. It was never about clicks. It was never about views. It was never about clickbait. Mark Boujan was a wonderful, wonderful guy, and he did it all for the love of wrestling. Right behind me, directly behind me, is Nicole Bass, who was a dear friend of mine. Today would have been her birthday, and I miss her to this day. And we mentioned Killer Kowalski. This is the cover of my book, Wrestling Rings, Blackboards, and Movie Sets. Killer Kowalski was a dear friend. Nikolai Volkov was a dear friend. Lanny Poffo. Right behind me, Johnny Valiant. These were dear, dear friends, and they're all gone. And tragically, Mark's wife passed a week or so ago. So we really do appreciate you coming on. And yesterday would have been her birthday on top of it. So Mark's been through an awful lot. And we're asking you, one, support his films because they're worth supporting. Okay?
So here's some clips that Mark gave for us to play here. Oh, let me turn on the sound. Just a second here.
Good.
Yes. Where is it?
On the right, bottom right hand.
Yeah, no, I have to go back to the sharing thing. Always here, hold on, let me do this again. There we go. If you don't do it from the beginning, it doesn't work. So here, let me first play this clip for your
I still don't hear any sound.
Deluxe 2 DVD disc set of the
Go back to the beginning.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks.
Terrorizing foes and fans from the 1960s to the 90s, The Sheik was wrestling's ultimate heel. Independent News Service presents the deluxe 2-DVD disc set of The Sheik, wrestling's greatest villain. This story has never been told. See rare footage and photos. Watch interviews with fans and historians. Jam-packed with bonus material, including his final U.S. bout. Get The Sheik, wrestling's greatest villain. Go to insent.net. Limited quantity, so order today. Terrorize.
And here's some of the clips that you'd sent me. Let me go over to.
And these are all participants, well, not only participants, but endorsers of the Sheik and the Battle Spouts and Brawls projects. Jimmy Hart, Kevin Sullivan,
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper did a wonderful endorsement of the Battles Project. Kevin Sullivan,
late,
R.I.P. to him also. R.I.P.
And that is Maria. That is my wife. Maria and I at Christmas time. And Maria was involved in the world. There's Eric Caden. Now, Eric Caden, former owner of Hollywood Book and Poster, he is also, was a wrestling historian, aficionado. Regretfully, Eric Caden is deceased, but he was a major authority. He is also in the Battles, Bouts, and Brawls project, giving his thoughts from the West Coast on Detroit wrestling. Because Detroit wrestling touched everybody. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, nice. Very good. Another
promo. At insent.net. These programs are available to the general public. And there's another program of mine that was the J.W. Westcott story. That was also aired on PBS throughout the entire continent. Detroit is a home to the world's floating zip code. There's a little tugboat that's been on the Detroit River for over 150 years that is actually a registered post office. If you took a piece of paper and wrote the zip code 48222, it is going to this little boat on the Detroit River. They deliver mail, parcels, and they even do the DoorDash thing to all the freighters that go up and down the Detroit River from around the world. They've actually serviced Jacques Cousteau's vessels when he was on the Detroit River many years ago. And the program, which, by the way, I did not mention earlier, both this program, the J.W. Westcott story, and the Sheik, Wrestling's Greatest Villain, are hosted by investigative award-winning reporter Robert Vito. Now, Robert Vito was the last reporter to actually speak to Jimmy Hoffa before his disappearance. Robert Vito also broke the story of the African-American disease sickle cell anemia. Tremendous reporter, known throughout the world, originally working out of Detroit. Robert Vito became allied with CNN back in its beginnings and was the bureau chief to CNN Detroit, CNN Rome. He was also at CNN Los Angeles. And finally, I believe the last bureau he was allied with was CNN in Miami.
Wow.
And regretfully, he is
a true journalist. How did he feel about the Sheik stabbing guys in the head with a pencil?
Well, he had, being a reporter, he had to be as neutral as possible, only reporting without editorializing.
I'm just checking.
Yeah. The world of news is not what it was when I was involved. I am also a founding member of CNN and of CNN's Detroit bureau. This goes back to the 1980s, early 1980s.
You just lost half of your potential sales from the Fox News boys, but
yes,
but the wrestling films are not political. Support
That's
them.
Correct. That's correct.
Here's a wonderful picture of you and your wife.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, this is at a restaurant that is one of Maria's favorites, located in San Diego in Old Town, called Felipe's
Oh, I know
Pizza.
where that is. I know
Oh,
that. I used to live in San Diego too. I went to college at UCSD, so I'm pretty
okay.
familiar with La
Highly
Jolla and the surrounding area.
favorite. It was her favorite. Many times there, as a matter of fact, on more than one occasion, Maria would tell me about the times that she encountered Jerry Lewis at Felipe's at that location. That is the original one.
Okay, I have a question. I have a very important question. Was
Yes.
encountering Jerry Lewis a good thing or a bad thing? Because I've heard both.
Maria, in relaying the encounter to me, very pleasant, very respectful.
Good.
It was this particular evening. Maria was celebrating the birthday of her son, which regretfully he is deceased. But Jerry Lewis joined in, wished the boy a very happy birthday, and they had a very pleasant conversation. So
That's
nothing
nice. Because
from.
I heard Jerry Lewis was bipolar and had good days and bad days. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's my understanding also. And that was at the photo you're seeing now, ladies and gentlemen. That is of the premiere of Battles, Bouts, and Brawls, which took place in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. And there you see the cover of Battles, Bouts, and Brawls and some of the participants. Myself with Ox Baker when we went to interview him. Ox Baker, may he rest in peace, wonderful man. However, it's regretfully been my information that there are some people that did not have a high regard for him, which is very unfortunate, and I feel sorry for those people. And one of them is a old school wrestler who, unless I'm asked, I will not name.
Every time I saw Ox at a convention, he was lovable. He was just a lovely guy, and I felt very bad when he passed. And yeah, talk about charisma. Oh my God, that guy, charisma off the charts. Okay, I have an important question for you as a as a wrestling journalist. Ox Baker was one of the greatest heels of all time. He looks like he's smiling and lovable, and you look like the heel in the picture. You're scowling. What's going on here?
Well, the crew and myself, we traveled from Detroit to Ox Baker's home at that time. Ox had conducted a wonderful interview and had given us some wonderful source material. Ox loved dogs also.
Yes.
And
There's a great YouTube clip online for him talking about one of his last, appearances where he has his Dachshunds with him, and he's telling everyone, he was raising money for pet adoptions, and
I cannot speak highly enough about Ox Baker. He was absolutely wonderful. A true gem.
And if anyone wants to see how affable he really was, go to YouTube and look up his appearance on The Price is Right.
Oh yes.
That's hilarious. It is so funny, and he was just a contestant like anybody else, on there. But he's priceless, and he's so funny, and he was so easygoing, in the crowd and all that stuff. So it is weird that people think negatively of him, because when I see him in 350 days, I'm like, that seemed like a really fun, an affable, nice guy, to hang around. But not everyone always has a positive experience with everybody else. But speaking of positive experiences, here's another one of your wife at the ball game, it looks like.
Well, that is at Comerica Park, the stadium that replaced Tiger Stadium. That occurred on April 26th, 2001, which is the day that I proposed. to
Oh,
Maria at the ballpark. The mascot to the Detroit Tigers handed Maria a baseball autographed by the team and handed me her engagement ring. And there may very well be a photograph with me putting the ring on Maria's finger.
that's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. Going back, Maria was even good friends with Ox Baker. They never
Nice.
met, but they had extensive phone conversations. As a matter of fact, Ox was kind enough to send Maria his cookbook,
Huh.
and that was another thing that about Ox Baker. He was an avid cook, and Maria partook,
He
if you
cooks in
will, of
350
several of
days.
the
He,
recipes.
he he fires up the stove in 350 days.
Yeah, he stole the show in 350 days. Nothing but charisma. One of the reasons, folks, before we go any further, that we're urging you to support Mark with these DVD purchases is he has a huge bill ahead of him to bury his wife. Unfortunately, in 2025, it's brutal. It's brutal. My mom died 9 years ago. It was $12,000 for bare bones, and now it's much higher than that. So please, if you're a big fan of Detroit wrestling, big fan of the Sheik, you know, support Mark in this difficult time. And also, if you love wrestling, you'll love the films. I mean, I've seen both of them. They're great films. And there's also a GoFundMe, and we're gonna give all the details on that at the end of the show.
Right.
So I didn't mean to interrupt with the photos.
That's fine.
Here we see Sabu.
There's a
Sabu is
late.
also part of the Battles, Bouts, and Brawls, and here you see endorsing the program I did on his uncle, on the Sheik.
And he was very protective of his uncle. He wouldn't have endorsed it if he didn't see the quality in it. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
I knew Sabu.
Okay, we have this one. There's Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he
Matching
is,
sunglasses.
and Rob Van Dam also, and I'm sorry if I mentioned it before. Rob Van Dam is also a participant in Battles, Bouts, and Brawls.
You look like a tag team in this photo with the glass and the
Or at least he could have been his manager. He could have been his manager.
Well, it could very well have been the glasses. And there, once again, Kevin Sullivan endorsing the Sheik program. He enjoyed it, and he relays in his endorsement. He relays the stories of when the Sheik was part of the Great American Bash back in, I think it was 1988, when it took place at Joe Louis Arena. I believe it was Joe Louis. And involved in a tag team bout, and where the Sheik, being Sullivan's opponent, they wound up in the end teaming up and having the reuniting, if you will, of Dusty Rhodes and Dick Slater as the Outlaws. That was quite a bit.
This
Once
is
again,
a rerun there, and also that one.
Kevin Sullivan.
He sent some doubles here.
This is when I was doing some promotional work with the local Fox affiliate.
All right, so now you won back the Republicans. Republicans bought these DVDs.
And there's when I had the opportunity to converse and speak with the Sheik himself.
Nice.
That was an honor. Forgive the photographer. Regretfully, the photo is not in the best focus, but the Sheik, to me, a true gentleman in any and all regards. And it was a great honor.
Oh, and there's the mascot.
The day I proposed to Maria. There's the mascot to the Detroit Tigers. That, once again, is at Comerica Park.
It's adorable.
Thank you. And there's Hulk Hogan himself giving an endorsement to me for both the Sheik and the Battles projects.
How did you find Hogan?
Oh,
He was pleasant enough. We conversed for a brief period. Nothing negative.
He didn't charge you. He didn't charge you for the.
No,
Oh, so
no.
that's a free celebrity endorsement. That was nice of him.
Yeah, yeah, and he also conversed with Maria. I don't recall if I supplied that to you, Russ, but he also conversed with Maria. He and
Yeah, there's a picture of Maria with Hulk coming up.
okay, and with Jimmy Hart also. Jimmy Hart endorsed the Chic program,
Very nice. Here's
and
another picture of you and.
this was when we were in Detroit. This photograph actually took place across the river in Windsor, Canada. And in the background, there's the Detroit River where the J.W. Westcott is delivering parcels of mail to some freighter going by. But in the background, you see the Renaissance Center, which, if my understanding is correct, is currently the General Motors headquarters, but I believe they're going to be moving. And if I understand, the Renaissance Center is slated for its end, which I find very unfortunate. But that's Detroit, downtown Detroit, in the background there. Kevin Nash, there he is, showing himself on the cover of the DVD of Battle Spouts and Brawls, which is also, by the way, a 2 DVD disc set. Very kind man. Maria and I at a local eatery here in San Diego.
San Diego, yeah, I recognize that place.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
And
Maria
Maria
near Del Coronado.
With our dog. This is at Seaport Village. Our dog.
Hotel Del
been
Coronado
there.
in the background.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's the Hotel Del Coronado in the background.
Yes,
Yep.
I believe so.
Yes.
And that is with our puppy at that time. She is no longer a puppy. That is our dog Dina, who is a pit ski. She's a combination pit bull and husky.
Oh, how adorable!
Oh, she is our baby.
Nice.
And there's Maria loved animals. This is at the San Diego Fair, also known as the Del Mar Fair. Always went to the animals, and she just loved, I believe, that goat there. I'm not too keen on goats myself, but as you can see, she's expressing her great fondness. And Maria here was one of my executive producers of the Battles, Bouts, and Brawls program. She was a major factor. These are some photos. There you go. And going up her right, Cloris Leachman. These are some of the folks that Maria has worked with in her life.
Tell us what she did. What kind of work did she do?
Well, Maria would conduct interviews. She was also a promoter of various personalities throughout her life. Going in the from the upper right there, pardon me, is actress comedian Cloris Leachman, and her common denominator with Cloris Leachman was the fact that she too had a son, an adult son that regretfully had passed away. So they had shared experiences with that, and they shared a bond. In the center, on the top, that is actress, entertainer, probably known more for her B movies, Battle Beyond the Stars, among them. That is Sybil Danning. But she was also in The Four Musketeers, if I recall, with Charlton Heston and Richard Chamberlain. Going to the extreme, from the left, Cloris Leachman, center. On the right there is actor, entertainer, Daniel Roebuck, who among other films was in The Fugitive with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. He was in the TV show Matlock, being Matlock's gopher assistant. Many science fiction programs. Daniel Roebuck also portrayed Grandpa in the latest version of The Munsters. motion picture, which was out several years ago. Going back to the left on the lower level is Maria with the Honky Tonk Man. And I forget that other gentleman.
Is that Fit Finley?
Beg your pardon?
No.
No.
Well, he is from California, so Russ, you may know him. I apologize, I do not.
I don't recognize him myself either, so I don't know everybody in California.
Oh, no,
It's a big
I
state.
understand. Now, in the center of the bottom row is
Wolfman Jack.
that Wolfman Jack. Yes,
Clap
indeed.
for the Wolfman.
Yes, yes, indeed. She, Maria, also worked for, and I apologize, I forget the call letters, but the station that here in San Diego is KUSI. She was working with the station that was before KUSI. So, Russ, I don't know if you would be familiar.
I was there from 85 to 90, so I'm not sure that they...
Well, that was around her time. That was around her time when she was with the broadcast channel.
I'm sure I listened to it, but I'm not... Well, what kind of a format was the station? Rock?
It was independent. It was independent.
I may have. I may not have. It's now. It's you're talking almost 40 years ago for me too. So
Certainly.
yes.
And then Maria with Hulk Hogan, and the two of them struck up a conversation and conversed. For a matter of fact, he conversed with her, and they bonded, if you will, more than he and I.
Wow.
But then again, with Maria, I can somehow find it quite understandable. And this is Maria. This series of photos was her childhood in the upper two photos as a child. The photograph on the far right there, that is Maria, myself, and our dog Dina. Maria and myself going directly down, loving my life. And I just cannot talk enough about her. The center there in the bottom, that is myself and our pet Dina when she was a puppy. And before that, when Maria and I first were together, this was her final dog, a Rottweiler. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rottweiler.
Called Reasons. And Reasons was a doll, female, and she lived to be 17 and a half years old.
Wow, that is really old for dog years.
Oh, yes. And when Reasons passed away, Maria and I just couldn't take without being with a pet. And that's when we went to the Humane Society, and Dina actually picked me.
Yeah.
And that's when she became a member of our family, and still is.
I'm glad that you adopted. It's always great to adopt rather than get from a breeder. I'm a big believer in that.
As am I and Maria.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you. And this is Maria and I with folks that hopefully will recall the TV show Gilligan's Island. This is Dawn Wells. This is
wow.
Dawn Wells was a very good friend of Maria and I. We would travel to Los Angeles when she resided there, and we would get together on a number of occasions. We would play cards and go out to eat, and Dawn and Maria bonded actually better than myself and Dawn. I've known Dawn longer, but a tremendous loss. She was a wonderful woman. Actually, in my opinion, very close to her character of Marianne. Just a sweetheart and a good woman in any and all aspects. The world lost a tremendous person when it lost Dawn Wells. Once again with the Honky Tonk Man, and I do apologize to that gentleman. I do not remember his name. I'm sorry. But Jimmy Hart with Maria, they struck up a conversation for a bit, and once again, if I recall correctly, his conversation with her was slightly longer than mine, but once again, I totally understand. I mean, how could you not? Maria and Hulk Hogan. This was Maria with Kevin Sullivan, and I believe he's the current head or director, I forget the proper title, of Cauliflower Alley Club, B. Brian Blair. This did occur. Maria and I are members of the Cauliflower Alley Club. Regretfully, due to the situation at hand, I have not been able to, just because of the dire and devastating situation that I am currently faced with. But wonderful folks, and again, Kevin Sullivan and B. Brian Blair. This is a woman. Her name, she started as a model. She became a very well-known photographer and an authoress. She is also part of the Battles, Bouts, and Brawls project. Her name is Justice Howard. Very well known in her respective circles of body animation, the Gothic world, if you will. Also with the various organizations, not the best reputation, but she is known by the folks in the cartel, if you will. A wonderful person. I have known her since, let's see, I have known her almost 40 years. And she got to know Maria, as you can see there. And Maria and Justice formed a rather strong bond also. And once again, there's the Battles, Bouts, and Brawls poster behind me. Another graphic for the Chic 2 DVD disc set.
Who did the artwork? Who did the artwork?
That was a combination of folks.
Nice.
Actually, partially my design from piecemealing other things. That the Chic with his silhouette, I believe, that is a combination design originating from my and a very good friend of mine and my editor, Jim Saliba. And Evan, you remember Jim? Jim and I were out there and conducted our interview with you.
Yeah. When you interviewed me for the movie. So I have a wrestling question.
Yes.
What would be your guesstimate for how many times Sheik and Bobo wrestled?
Oh my goodness. At the minimally, I would have to say in the hundreds. I would probably say in the upper hundreds, given the fact that they have been combatants with each other. I believe going back from the 50s, from the late 50s, right up until the 80s. Hundreds, if not even over 1,000. And I really do not believe that is an exaggeration. However, Evan, and I'm sure some of the historian and diehard wrestling fans are aware that the Sheik and Bobo Brazil, even though they have been combatants more times than I can certainly count, as you've asked, but they were also tag team partners on at least one occasion.
And Brian Solomon just did a book on the Sheik. Maybe he would have an idea of how many times they actually wrestled, because there's actual results in his book also. And yeah, I used to see Bobo at the Garden also. A lot of the Detroit guys were huge in New York. Yeah, I saw him many, many times live. He was beloved. They loved him. Yeah.
Who did the pencil sketch? Who did the Sheik sketch down on the lower left-hand side?
Well, that was done, I believe. That was a adaptation from a photograph of the Sheik back from, I believe, I would say the mid, and I'm estimating here, gentlemen, from the mid 1960s, and that particular graphic there, that was adapted from an old fanzine, and
nice.
made part of that advertisement. A wonderful graphic there. I give thanks and compliments to the folks involved there. By the way, Evan, in mentioning the book by Brian Solomon, That book was heavily contributed by Mark Boujan, with much of the reference material on the Sheik with regard to personal insight and also results to the various bouts throughout his career from Mark Boujan. I also contributed a certain amount of material to his book.
Brian Solomon is a legit writer and journalist, unlike many in the wrestling world. You know, the 50,000th podcast that overanalyzes Raw and SmackDown, you know.
Oh, yes. Sorry, trying to adjust myself here so the kind folks can see that wonderful graphic. Oh, that's Maria and I in Las Vegas at the CAC when we did a premiere, as a matter of fact, to the Battles, Bouts, and Brawls project. And a wonderful time. Maria just enjoyed the CAC and enjoyed Las Vegas to the highest degree. And there, as you can see, she and I, there, Maria doing some promotional work with the Marvel character Rocket Raccoon, if I
Nice.
recall it, promoting the Guardians of the Galaxy. There,
Toxic Avenger,
there you
Toxie.
go. Oh yes, Toxic Avenger, Toxie himself.
Nice.
Oh yes, and that is stunt woman, actress, one of Quentin Tarantino's gang, if you will. That is Zoe Bell, who did work with, and there's Fred Olin Ray with Maria. Maria and I participated in Fred Olin Ray production, I believe it was called Spydora, several years ago, and that is the three of us with Fred. Fred is a good man, and he is one of the rare ones. Nothing but high compliments for Fred Olin Ray. Back once again to Comerica Park with the mascot of the Detroit Tigers. And there's the light of my life, Maria.
We saw that one.
And Felipe, there's me putting the ring on Maria's finger at Comerica Park on April the 26th, 2001. If you look behind me, you'll see two rather large feet, and those feet are of the Tigers mascot. It just gave. We were sitting directly in the first row, directly above the Tigers dugout there. I'm sorry the picture is so small. That is Maria and I experiencing the pleasures of Disneyland. I've only been to Disneyland once, but Maria was there actually at their opening. And Maria has been to Disneyland several times, but that was my only time. And I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to kid you, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen listening. It was all about Maria. She is what made me happy. There we are at an eatery in Detroit. I believe that was at Motor City Casino at one of their more elegant restaurants, celebrating our engagement. And forgive me for bragging once again, gentlemen, but there is the love of my life.
That's the final picture we've already seen.
So Mark, please plug the GoFundMe.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, everybody listening, there has been a GoFundMe project started by one of my good friends, my editor, once again, Jim Saliba. You can find that GoFundMe on the Facebook page of Battles, Bouts, and Brawls. That is on the movie Battles, Bouts, and Brawls. And please, if you have the opportunity, go to that page. Evan has also been exceptionally kind and considerate. He has spread the GoFundMe project on his own page, his personal page.
And we're proud to help you promote it through Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast. We really want to help as much as we can, and I hope some of our listeners and viewers help you out as well.
And the title, if you go on GoFundMe, is Help Honor Maria Luz, Luz, Garcia Galasso, Galasso. Help Ana Maria Luz Garcia Galasso, Galasso. And please, folks, it's hard enough. It's hard enough losing your wife, especially a week before a milestone 65th birthday. You know, you shouldn't have to scramble to bury somebody. It's ridiculously expensive, and I've been there. Not with my wife, with my own mother. You know, I'm at the funeral home, and the guy goes, "That'll be 12,000 something, between 12 and $13,000, 9 years ago." And my friend Scott Bernstein, who's a dentist and successful, he's like, "Let me handle it, Evan. I know you're honest. Pay me back when you can." The average person doesn't have, that kind of cash, on hand. So if, as my late mother would say, if everybody gave $1, we reach thousands and thousands of people. Don't look the other way. And if you don't have $1,
I've told my kids they just give me a Viking funeral, put me on a raft and set it on fire, just push it out into the middle of the ocean.
Well, they'd save 20 grand.
Yeah, it's so
and be dramatic anyway. You were a wrestling manager. It would be dramatic. It would make all the news shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's set Russell Jackman, aka Buddy Sotelo, on a raft on fire. That'll be it. But
can't take it with you.
But seriously,
we really do regret and feel terrible for your loss. And you can tell from the pictures that she was a huge part of your life, and you guys were very close together. And it's going to be not easy moving onwards, but you did have a wonderful life together, and that's something that hopefully over time you'll be able to celebrate, and not feel the loss as bad.
Well, I thank you, gentlemen, and I'm not going to kid you. Maria is my life, and I have lost that. I cannot begin to describe, and gentlemen, I'm sure you've heard it before from other people, that suffered this type of situation.
The show, unfortunately, is all about people dying. About half of our shows.
I would say about half of the shows have been honoring, late loved friends, heroes, spouses. Oh my God. So, but the point I always try to make is we are a community. And, look, I have friends who are rich. I have friends who are dirt poor. If you don't have $1, you can move your wrist for 5 seconds and share a GoFundMe. Seriously, we're a community, the wrestling community, the independent film community, 2 communities, okay? So if you want to help, you can. And it's too easy just to look the other way. And, like everything else, doing GoFundMes, a lot of good, bad, and ugly, joy and pain. You're helping a friend, you're helping somebody. And even if you don't know the person, you're doing a good deed. Do you know when you do a good deed, endorphins in your body are let out and you feel better? Seriously. And if you believe in karma, you help somebody, and one day when you're in need, it'll come back to you. So seriously, if you can, please help. And if you don't have the money, like I said, share it. You're all on different wrestling pages, film pages, your social media, your network. The woman deserves a decent burial, and it's not going to be anything fancy. It's just expensive, a bare bones burial today.
I'm just sorry that I never had an opportunity to meet her. She seemed like a really wonderful person, really, gave a lot to a lot of people, and her love of animals was very touching, and it's very nice for you to share this with us. I think it's also, courageous to be able to share, intimate photos like that with everybody, things that were such milestones in your relationship, like proposing to her and all of that stuff. So we really appreciate that. I think that takes a lot of courage for you to do. And we got to wrap things up, but why don't you once again, plug your videos and the GoFundMe.
Well, again, it's thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity. The Sheik and the Battles, Bouts, and Brawls DVD, once again, and forgive me, you're not going to see me. I'm going to try to go on this sign here, is at insent.net. You can go there and follow the instructions. Very simple, but also, and I apologize to you and to folks listening and viewing. I need help. I'm only trying to do what I feel is best, what Maria deserves, and then some. And just as Evan and you have said, Russ, any amount is greatly appreciated. I Again, I can't even put it into words. I appreciate your kindness, and I appreciate your viewers and listenership kindness. And if there's anything,
and give the GoFundMe address again one more time.
GoFundMe is Honor Maria Luz Garcia Galasso. That's Galasso. That is in the GoFundMe. It is originated by James Saliba. It is also available on the link through any number of Evan's Facebook pages. Also on the Battles, Bouts, and Wrestling's Battles, Bouts, and Brawls Facebook pages. I believe you gentlemen are going to be kind enough to support or to provide, a link to that. And I'm sorry, I have no other way that I have no visuals. I'm sorry. I didn't.
No, it's fine. That's fine. I think you
Yeah,
got it across.
we'll post the GoFundMe link and the address to buy one or both of these videos, directly into what we're posting when we put the show up. And the show should be up in a day or two.
Well, the only other thing I can say is that I hope it's not another 5 years before we have you as a guest on our show. I feel a little chagrined that it's been that long since we've had you as a guest, and we'd like to have you on more often.
Well, I am honored, gentlemen, and whenever you feel the opportunity is, I'm more than happy to participate, gentlemen.
Thanks
and
so much. And best of luck to you. Thank you for being a guest on our show, and we'll make sure to get the links up there so that people can contribute and buy your DVD.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone viewing.
All right, we'll see everybody next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.